一只海鸥迎面扑来，却没有落在我身处的手上。
Ma seule étoile est morte, et mon luth constellé verse le soleil noir de la mélancolie.
Spiraled into years, and the past is long resigned. Serenade the shade and shadow, cry tune for days gone by, scream a song for all you lost along the way. After all the words unspoken, after all the deeds undone, in the dark where certainties are few, and your song is still unsung, celebrate the hour of madness, ride the wave that turns the tide, dream a song for all you lost along the way.
とは真実を信じるのではなく、真実であればいいと思うことを信じる。
Celebrate the hour of madness. Ride the wave that turns the tide. Dream a song for all you lost along the way. Set out to prove that it is not too late. Just another potential trying. Look around and you might be flying now. All along a secret song was playing in my mind, like a window to another world. It's hard to leave the storm when it's still raining deep inside, and your heart is like a whirlwind. Your heart is like a whirlwind, spinning through the sky. Today's another day, so make it yours, don't waste the time away. You got your song to sing, so make it happen and break away. The morning brings a new beginning. Don't drag your wheels, gotta keep them spinning. Another day you could be winning now. All along the secret song was playing
All right, what's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Maze of Thoughts podcast. I am Pig, and as always, with me is Trey50Daniel. What's up, dude?
Nothing much, except for I've got the little one with me here right now.
You got the burden with you?
Yeah, I got the tiny tiny human.
I'm such a fucking asshole. What's going on?
Somebody's not happy. That's what's happening. But yeah, no, this week has been kind of crazy. Just going. My son playing t-ball and stuff like that. Just
Playing with what?
typical week. Like baseball. He's playing baseball.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Do you guys have baseball? Do y'all play like as kids? Do y'all play baseball a lot or?
Not really. Play football, basketball. Well, football, you guys call it
soccer. Yeah.
And basketball and our version of football is rugby.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. Also badminton and volleyball and tennis and foosball.
Oh, tennis too.
It's a bunch of stuff. Pretty much just not. Well, it's not your football. It's just rugby. Instead of us going against each other and tackling each other, we just do like the tame version of it.
Tame?
I used to be good as hell
rugby,
at that shit, to be honest. Because I like
rugby. Like if you watch the pros, they are rougher than like they're not as big. Like they're not as big as pro football players, but they are definitely way more like aggressive and because they have like the what is it the like whenever you like they put their heads together to start the game and then they like scramble for the ball, like they nearly bust each other's skulls open. It's crazy to watch, like pro rugby players.
Never seen it, dude. Never seen it. But I'm sure it's interesting.
You would probably appreciate the carnage. That's what you'd appreciate, because there's definitely some carnage with that. Because they
on rugby,
they ram their skulls together. Like it's a crazy thing that they do.
Well, okay. Sports is not really my thing, as you probably have figured out by now. But nothing against it. Think it's cool if you like it and whatnot. But yeah. So today I wanted to talk about something because it's Friday the 13th. And as you know, I wasn't even aware that it was going to be Friday the 13th or anything. But I started playing Silent Hill because I wanted to experience like something I didn't experience when I was a kid. I don't know why. Maybe just like because I don't know, it just wasn't around during my time or whatever. But yeah, it was just like essentially I played Soul Reaver, I played Resident Evil, I played Dino Crisis, played a bunch of horror things, but definitely Silent Hill was not one of those. I don't know why. I like literally kind of sad that I missed out on it, but it's never too late unless you die. But I just decided to play it. But the thing is, cool. I was interested in finding out about the story behind like why is that town the way it is. And literally like a few hours ago, I decided to go do this because I don't think the game itself explains any of this. But it's interesting because like the story is actually based off of a real life situation in America. And it's inspired by Centralia in Pennsylvania. I don't know if you ever heard that story.
No, I haven't heard that story.
Okay, so I think it's in the 1960s, basically this town was like a miner's town. And in the 1960s, they wanted to burn the landfill. And by doing so, they ignited the coal mines, and the fire spread all across the mines, burning the shafts and everything. So the integrity of all the structure within, like beneath the ground of the mines and stuff, that all shattered.
Like it would collapse.
Yeah, so it created sinkholes in the ground. So when you see like in the game, the ground has like all these weird things, and it's like all shattered and stuff. That's why it's inspired by that. And obviously because of the mines and the sinkholes and stuff, all of the ash and the smoke started surrounding the town. And it still burns to this day. That's the crazy thing. It has been burning since the 1960s because it was a coal mine.
Really?
Yeah. And that's essentially what inspired the situation, what inspired the whole story in the Silent Hill. And I thought like it was super interesting because, you know, it was weird. The thing though is that obviously Centralia didn't have cults and witches and weird ass creatures and stuff. So that's the difference between the real life Silent Hill and Silent Hill, because Silent Hill apparently has like cults and witches and all this kind of weird stuff. But like you said in my stream, and I thought so too, I thought it was all in someone's mind or something. I thought it was like someone, because the way they talk about the creatures, like for example, Pyramid Head is supposedly the manifestation of someone's guilt for murdering their wife. And I thought, well, is this like some sort of mental situation going on here?
Like a mental illness.
Yeah.
Like projecting the...
That's what I thought so too. But apparently, you know, I was wrong. And also, I also thought, because upon reading things, I also thought that the only reason why the town was foggy and stuff was because of system limitations, because that's how some people describe it. But apparently it's not really just that. It's literally because it's inspired by Centralia, and it's, you know, burning mines and stuff. So I thought that was super fucking interesting, because I like when things have a real life inspiration. Like, for example, Ghostface is inspired by an actual serial rapist and murderer who stalked people and went inside their houses and well, raped them and killed them. Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre is inspired by Ed Gein, who was a grave robber who would basically, well, rob graves, make furniture and stuff with the people that he would basically snatch from the graves. And yeah, and then he murdered someone. He went to the store, snatched them, brought them to their house, and hooked them, kind of like Dead by Daylight does, and skinned them and shit like that. So I don't know, but it's weird things. It's morbid reality, but I like to know the inspiration behind things, because yeah, man, there's always got to be inspiration for things. That was interesting as hell, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy how much that people draw from like reality to make like.
Well, you have to do it, man. You have to do it.
Yeah.
Like everything in life is inspired by something else, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like I think, like, if I remember correctly, don't quote me on this, but I think like Resident Evil, the Umbrella Corp, was based upon a lot of companies like doing shady stuff, you know, like pharmaceutical companies and stuff, making a lot of you know, really shady decisions and everything. So like, and basically the idea, sort of like in the movie I Am Legend, in the way that, like, you know, they come out with a cancer treatment and it doesn't actually treat cancer; it just creates the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. Right.
Yeah, man, I always find that kind of stuff interesting. And as for Resident Evil, I again, it's not something I know of. When I played Resident Evil when I was a kid, I didn't really give a shit about like the reality behind, you know, what we are seeing in fiction. But I mean, honestly, I can definitely see the inspiration for that. Yeah, because I mean, like the zombie games, like H1Z1 was inspired by that kind of stuff as well. Because if you remember, like we had the whole deal going on with H1N1,
Yeah,
I forgot what H1N1 was, like swine
the
flu or some
swine
shit.
flu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never got that somehow. I never got
Me
any
either.
fucking flu, man. I never had anything of that shit. Which, of course, it's fortunate for
Bird
me, but
flu. Like they had all kinds of variants. Like there was like the bird flu, the swine flu. I think there was something else too. Like I don't know. They came up with a lot of different kinds of like flus, and then all of a sudden it was funny though. It's been funny though since we've had this bird flu, we've had the swine flu, and then like once like COVID hit, if you said anything like, "Oh, this is like the flu" or whatever,
that's what I
like
said all the time, man.
people would get so mad though.
I mean, just think
They would go,
about it. It
"This
was
isn't a
so
flu."
similar
Like,
to a lot of things, like that. I mean, yeah, you can argue it was worse because of like how impactful it was on the whole world, but at the end of the day, it was still like that. It's just a plague. It's a flu. It's going around the world. So another thing that I didn't get, you know, even though I'm a pig and my hygiene is below zero. So again, fortunate. I'm not going to complain about it, but it just makes me question things. That's all. But yeah. So besides like the Silent Hill situation, there was another situation that happened this last week, which was the massive crash. Which, especially
crash.
for me, when
Yeah.
all my income is based off of Hive and stuff. When I see this kind of stuff happen, it's a little bit. It's not that it's scary. It's more disappointing. It's not like I'm gonna lose my house or anything like that. I do have that privilege of being allowed to live in my grandfather's house and having the bills paid and all that shit. And I'll never say like, oh no, I'm not privileged or whatever. In that sense, I am privileged. But Hive just allows me to do shit. Just allows me to like do things without having to ask my grandfather for money and shit. Cause like at 30 years old, man, it's embarrassing to be old, like asking your fucking grandfather to buy you shit. Like it really is. So, it's not like I don't look for a job. I've been looking for work the whole fucking uh, ever since I was 18 years
Yeah.
old. It's just like the mental capabilities are not there. It's like when I go to a fucking job interview, I just freeze. I just sit there and I wait for people to ask me shit. And if they don't ask me shit, I don't like start conversations or anything like that, because then I think I'm being too intrusive and whatnot. So yeah. But anyways, so I
Yeah.
watched a couple of videos on like the whole crash situation, and apparently it was like billionaire fucking feud or whatever the fuck. Some douchebag thought he was like too untouchable and started like the guy behind like Terra or whatever the fuck it's called. And
The Lunaterra thing. Yeah.
yeah,
That was weird. But like for me, that crash isn't as crazy as the overall crash. Because um like if it wasn't for the fact that I have a good enough range of like different things that I'm like invested in, then I would probably be down on everything. And it
right.
would be pretty bad. But overall, I think like I put a little bit more money into it just because I was like, well, not really Hive yet, but like I put a little bit more money like into my investment stuff because it's like if this is down so much, it's gonna go up at some point, and I'll hopefully I'll look like a genius.
It's not
But
guaranteed that it's
I,
gonna
I'm
go
I'm
up, but
I'm I'm lucky. I'm lucky enough to be in a position though to be able to do that.
see the
At
thing
least
is,
at least a little bit.
the thing is, when I didn't know about this douchebag who got attacked by all these billionaires and stuff because he provoked it, I thought the crash was happening. Well, I mean, I'm sure there were other reasons why the crash happened, but um, I thought it was solely because of those other reasons and not because of this, well, douchebag. Um, so there's no guarantees that it goes up. That's why crypto is literally a fucking risk investment. Which I mean, every investment is technically a risk. Some are just more of a risk than
Yeah, but
others.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to know what level of risk. Like, I don't think that Apple will be a dead company tomorrow. I don't think Apple will be a dead company 5 years from now. As much as I don't like Apple, as much as I don't like like a lot of their business practices, I think that they're still going to be around in 5 to 10 years, and they'll still be doing well. So, like, if you were to bet against them, that would be kind of stupid because they're literally too big to fail. Like I mean, they may eventually get beat by somebody, but they're gonna have a lot of time to be able to like. Because if somebody comes out with a better iPhone, let's say, I mean, like, so let's say they lose the rights to making like iPhones, or they do kind of like Google does and allow them other people to make iPhones.
Hmm.
There might be a company that makes a better iPhone, but there's never going to be another Apple. Like, it's just brand recognition. There's People are too entrenched to buy the same thing. Like, too many people like Coke, no matter, regardless of, there's Pepsi, there's all the other products. They don't care. They like Coke. They
Yep.
it's just you get stuck on a brand and people don't want to look at any other brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's totally true. I mean,
But I mean, with crypto, it is like you said, it's a huge risk because like Hive, as much as we like Hive, and as much as we're prepared to like hodl, or I mean,
that I hate that
you got to
fucking
sell some of
term.
yours.
Say
Yeah,
hold. Why the
well,
fuck you say
hold,
hodl?
yeah, hold,
Like
yeah.
hold. It's so fucking dumb
As long as
terminology.
we're as much as we're prepared to like hold the coins and stuff like that, there's definitely like a point where it's like we can't just say that oh, it's if it goes to zero, basically like Terra Luna. Like, well, are you just gonna hold until like keeps going down? No, I mean, I would be out just like anybody else. But Hive, hopefully, with everything that it has going for it, I think that it has a bright future. It's just gonna be a lot of time before we see really where that plays out. I mean, it's a long game that you have to play. Like, if you play the
Yeah.
short game, yeah, it's gonna suck. But if you play the long game,
I mean,
and that's why
fortunately,
I put out
it's been
a tweet earlier. Like, if you play the long game, you win. But if if you try to play this like it's a casino, like it's a slot machine, you can only pull the lever so many times.
fortunately it went down to like 28 cents at some point, but it just rose back up to like 46, 48. So I'm talking about euros, not dollars. But yeah, it's pretty cool. At least there's some return there to what it used to be. I was literally about to make a podcast episode on how like last year the exact same shit happened, and Hive was at like 44, 45 cents now in dollars. For like about 3 months, it was like 44, 45 cents from like May to August or something. And then it started going back up to 70, 80 cents. And I was literally going to make an episode because people were starting to comment on it. I was like, okay, well, this kind of happened last year as well. But then the crash happens. I was like, oh, well, shit. Not making that episode anymore. But yeah, like I was gonna make an episode just to make an episode because I have no idea what the fuck's going on. It's not like I'm researching this kind of stuff. I just watched the videos that I watched the video by that coffee. I think it's CoffeeZilla dude.
CoffeeZilla,
Yeah, he made 2 videos on the crash, and I watched those, and that's basically the understanding I have of what happened. Nothing else. I don't know anything else.
Yeah, essentially what happens a lot, and this happens a lot in different spaces, but definitely in like the investment space, where people like to think that they can borrow infinitely, and like you can borrow infinitely given how our banking systems work and how different financial systems work. You can basically borrow from somebody who then borrows from you, and borrow, like, there could be an infinite borrow chain. Like, you can borrow on on your own money. Like, you can borrow money on your own money, and that's like a lot of what these kind of crashes, like this kind of thing happens, is like people borrow, or they inflate the supply to make it to make it go up and all this stuff. It just doesn't all these kind of things plays that people are trying to make with it, like trying to take money and make more money infinitely. Like I said, you can only pull the lever so many times of borrowing your own money to try to make more money to until you just fail. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, some people talked about it like people try to make, try to make money out of thin air. Not necessarily possible. So but yeah. Well, for now that's the topics I have. Been only 30 minutes. So, you have anything?
So let's see. So of course we can sort of do like a revisit the um Elon
Oh
situation
fuck.
with
I remember
Twitter,
an email.
because he actually is put out a tweet talking about today that he was he was wanting to, he wasn't rethinking the deal, like he's still going to do it, but he wanted to like audit Twitter to make sure that like the amount of spam or bot accounts is less than 5% like they say it is, because he's basically trying to see if he can get a deal, like if there were like 10% of the accounts that they say they have are bots, then he could probably say like, look, you're making fake users, so I need, you're going to need to cut me a deal, and he could buy it for cheaper. That's what a lot of people seem to think, and I think that that's definitely a possibility. But it is interesting to see how he's like trying to hold Twitter to task for like the whole spam and bot account thing.
Right. So I saw that like a bunch of like the three tops or the five top like richest people in the world started like losing a lot of value and shit because of what's going on. I was like, man, fuck all y'all motherfuckers. But yeah, like someone pointed out, it's basically the poor people are gonna sell because they have no other ways to do shit, and the richest motherfuckers are just gonna buy in and get even more richer when it fucking goes back up. So, the cycle continues.
That's basically that's why I wanted to put a little bit of money when I could in, because the whole point is they want you to just go ahead and be like, oh no, I can't, like it's too risky, everything's like I've lost like 10% or something like that. Oh, I'm just gonna sell out and then I'll be fine because I'll have cash or something like that. But it's it's only gets them richer, because then they can go, ooh, I'm getting a deal, I have money that I can buy this with. It's a steal to buy, what is it, like Apple stock down 20%, or even though I don't think that Netflix is going to go like way back up, still I think like where Netflix is at for what they're making, you could probably still say, hey, it's a pretty valuable company that you could be able to like put a lot of money into. I'm not saying that I think Netflix is gonna, because there's a lot of people competing with Netflix now, and I don't know if you've seen, there's a lot of the Disney Plus. They got a bunch of different other things like Paramount, HBO
Mhm.
Max. Like a lot of these things are competing with Netflix now, but I think that they're still gonna be um, still be the top dog for now. Unfortunately, like I still think they're going to go down, but it's going to be a while. And there's a lot of people who make money off of these kind of things. Like when these kind of stocks that are like really valuable can just go down. Even Bitcoin, people are going to make a lot of money off of Bitcoin because it's down to like half of its peak, and they're just going to buy in like, oh well, now I've got a cheap deal because all these people paper handed it basically, because I mean, you gotta pay a mortgage, you gotta pay for what everything that you own, but you gotta be able to pay the rent, pay the mortgage and stuff like that. But it only helps the rich people whenever you have to do that. So I'm hoping that I can keep myself to the level where I don't have to do that kind of thing.
Right. So I saw something on Twitter by Gabriel. Just had to comment. He has a tweet here with some furry in a plane, and he says no, and I said never was a plane crash so deserved. So as long as it's only the furry in there. But I got this email from Libs of TikTok because I subscribe to that shit, and this is just weird shit, man. This is just weird, like really weird shit. So apparently there's this thing. This is for kindergarten, by the way. All right. But apparently it's like some assignment for kids to take home. And it says some children like to touch their own private body parts and some children don't. What places in your home are private? And then let's got like a couple of lines for supposedly kids to fill in. And then it got draw a picture of the private places where you can touch your penis or vulva if you want to. And then it's got like a frame to draw in there. And it says all families have different rules about masturbation, touching your own private parts. Talk to your trusted grown-ups about your family rules. Kindergarten assignments, by the way. So
Yeah.
as a parent, what do you think about this?
Yeah, and they're saying that this isn't happening, which is funny to me because like we see this stuff, we know it's happening, and they're just going to deny it because it makes them look bad. Like it
I mean,
really does make a lot of these people.
To
look
be
bad.
fair,
And they don't realize.
To be fair, but I feel like it's real. I don't want it to be real, but I feel like it is real. I don't see why anyone would do like this as a joke or like as a oh, let's just sort of say that they did this or whatever. But it could be just something that someone prints out, and it's not real,
Like as a meme.
Yeah, but
yeah, but I don't think that there are some things that have been. I don't know if you saw there was another one that Libs of TikTok posted. There was actually a book that was published, and it said it was for ages like like 4 to 6 or something like that, and it was a kid talking about like watching mommy and daddy get it on like that's basically what it was talking about. It was like, oh yeah, first he takes his penis and puts it in her. It's like, why are we teaching kids that? Like why do you want a kid to read a book about that? Like it doesn't make any sense.
Right. It's just ridiculous. And there was another thing. I saw this on Twitter, I think. But it was it was basically a transgender guy waiting for sex change assignment or whatever to female, who was a pedophile who was basically caught, and I think they were jail or whatever, for like taking upskirt photos of kids. And yeah, it's just fucking weird. I'm trying to look for this, but I can't find it on Twitter anymore. Maybe it's like got booted for some reason.
Well, speaking like the trans man thing, there's Calvin Klein is launching a new ad campaign, and apparently you too can get pregnant.
Oh yeah, I fucking saw that. Oh man.
So they hired a pregnant man for their new quote unquote for their new campaign. This makes no sense. This looks so backwards because I mean, unless are they like, because it makes it look like I guess they're both trans, because that would be the only way that this. It doesn't make any sense, dude. It's so weird how they think that this isn't just normal. Like, oh yeah, that's fine. Let's make this ad for pregnant man or whatever.
Yeah, it's a weird ass world, man. Yeah, I saw this fucking ad. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this. It's pretty weird. Calvin Klein. It's Calvin Klein, huh? Okay. Is the dude actually pregnant, or is just got a fucking beer belly? Like, what's going on there?
It is like it's like it's like a a woman who became a man, and they
I mean, I've been pregnant.
transitioned
I've been
her.
pregnant for like over 12 years, I think. So
Yeah, you just wait. That thing will pop out any day.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I keep taking shits, but it doesn't come out. So
didn't
how
push
is
hard
this?
enough.
How is this pregnant man gonna have the supposed fucking up or whatever it is that's brewing in there?
Well, I mean, supposedly the same way like a woman would, whatever. But
He's gonna get
I
it out
don't.
through the dick. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, you make fun of that. There was oh my god, now I got to bring this up. British um um let's see. There was something about
Hmm?
there's something about a medical school that was going to teach the people in the UK that like men could have a baby through the penis. Like, it's like weird. Oh, if I could find it.
I think these motherfuckers watched that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger like too much. I think. I don't know if you remember that, but he had a movie where he goes pregnant.
Oh yeah, there was I forgot about
It's an old movie,
I
man.
forget about that because
You fucking
there was a meme about it. Yeah, well no, I don't I haven't watched the movie personally, but I saw the meme about it and I didn't know where it was from and I was confused. I was like, wait, Arnold
Junior.
Schwarzenegger
It's called Junior.
oh okay yeah.
That movie. I bet
Um,
that movie's like fucking a treasure for certain people now.
probably.
Fucking 94. No. Twins is the movie. It's a different movie. It's also with Danny DeVito, but it's a different movie. Twins is basically they just find each other and they can like feel the pain of one another and what. Um, but yeah, this one's Junior. Fucking hilarious shit. I also found like a
Oh, here it is. uh, here's the article.
university midwifery students thought biological man can give birth. I mean, uh, with all the
Well,
weird
it says
shit that exists nowadays, I wouldn't be surprised if a man can give birth, but at the same time, it's kind of like you don't have the reproductive organs that a female has. Like, what the fuck, man? It's like I don't understand. Like, what is the necessity? What is the need behind all of this shit? Why do they need to have a man be pregnant? Why do you need a man to give birth? Is it because of let's have the man suffer the same pain the woman suffers? It's like I don't know. It's so weird.
no, it's because they want to. There's a small, certain subsection of people are who like transition. They become a man or something like that, and so they basically want to like push it to the limit. It's just like we've been having an argument lately on like abortions, right? And some people consider like, hey, you can kill the thing up until it's literally about to pop out of the woman, you know.
Mm.
And then there are other people who are like, no, never kill it. And basically between those two, there's not really much compromise to be had because whenever there's a certain section that just says like, hey, you can kill an actual fully grown human, it's kind of hard to reconcile with that, like,
I mean, um, I'm just as I'm pro euthanasia, I'm pro abortion, man. It's one of those situations where like people put their emotions before they put logic and reasoning, uh, you know, within these situations. But I think, like, just as someone who has terminal diseases, and you can argue, well, the terminal diseases sometimes have been fixed or cured or whatever. Yeah, sure, but it's like what, one or two times out of 100 or 1,000. So if someone is literally in like a terminal condition, they're a literal vegetable. They can't do anything. They're just in constant pain and constant suffering. Why not go for euthanasia, man? Like, you know what I mean? Um, it's just one of those situations. It's more so of the situation of selfishness, of wanting the person that you care for to still be alive, but at the same time, the person you care for that you still want to be alive, you're causing their fucking suffering and their torment, which is, in my opinion, is ridiculous.
Well, I
It's
think I
selfish.
can delineate, like I can differ between the two. Like I can get behind, like if someone is in complete suffering, like they've been, you know, let's say they've been technically brain dead for like, um, like years. Let's say somebody kept them on life support for like 3 years, and they're just been like a vegetable, like you said. Then maybe offering some of that service to that kind of person. I mean, it's weird because someone would have to have to be in charge to be able to pull the plug. But I mean, at that point, some decision needs to be made to figure out, like, do we have any hope? Like, is there any reason we should have hope for this person? If not, then I don't know if there's much you can do. But I think that with like the whole abortion thing is a little bit different, just because the people wanting to do it here, they're wanting to use it like as
I don't
a
think it's
form
that
of
different,
birth
dude.
control.
I don't think it's that different because do you really want to put a kid in the world to parents who it was just like something that just happened, like they're completely fucking broken, their lives are shattered, the kids, if the kid remains with them, is going to have a miserable life. Like it's just, I mean, as much as we want to believe that we're all here with a purpose and shit, no one's here with a purpose, man. No one has a purpose. Everyone has the same usefulness in the world as one another has. Some people just have more because it's just a situational thing, but no one really matters. And I know that's a fucking hard thing to hear for most people, but no one's relevant. Everyone's irrelevant as fuck. Um, if if Einstein didn't exist, things would have perhaps been different, but maybe someone else would have done the calculations or the discoveries he did. My point is, like, people just want to have a purpose, but I am just the realist, the extremely realist person that just realizes that we're all irrelevant. If humanity did not
But
exist,
by that,
the world would still spin the same way it does. Probably even better because we
but
fuck it up on a
well, by
constant
that token,
basis.
though, Pig, if if we're all equally worthless, like if we're thinking about it that way, and then there's a kid that could be born into the world that could be as equally worthless as you are, then killing it would just be you being
It's not about the
even
it's not
like
about the
reduced.
kid though, dude. Or well, it is about the kid, but it's more so about the kind of life the kid would be shoved into, dude. That's the thing I'm saying. I don't like, if you want to really have a kid go through like just torment from birth, you know what I mean? That's just fucked up, man. That's just fucked up. It's not any different than basically having someone in like constant torment, and just keeping them alive because you're selfish and you want that person to still be in your life. You know what I mean? It's not any different. If you're gonna bring a kid to the world, and you can argue, well, there's child secret or child services or whatever the fuck. Yeah, there is, but like, it's not enough for everybody. And there's going to be kids that are born into the world that are shoved into dumpsters. Like, do you prefer to shove a kid in a dumpster and let it die in a dumpster than abort it before it even comes to fucking life? or to the world. I think aborting is better, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Yeah, you're meant to have kids so that they have a better life than you. Exactly. You're supposed to like cherish and, you know, basically, what's the word? Let them flourish and be the better version that you were not, essentially. You know what I mean? When it's Planned Parenthood, even sometimes it's Planned Parenthood, and parents can be still pieces of shit. You know, like that's why I say this is a fucked up topic, because people are gonna have different opinions because of emotions and shit. Like, you're a parent, and so your emotional status to this is gonna be way different than mine. And maybe you're also not as sort of what's the word? Literal and as more of a realist than I am. I'm a massive fucking realist. That's why a lot of people don't like me. Because I tend to be truthful, and I tend to say the truth the way it is, or the way I see it. So, you know, that's why it's so difficult. You know what I mean? Like, another person that thinks euthanasia is wrong, they might think it's wrong because of other reasons, you know?
But I think, like, there's a lot to be said about perception, though. Like, the way you perceive things, and that's what a lot of people look at this, and they perceive that the thing that they have inside them is actually not a human. They actually believe this, and that's the weird part. Is they like if they realize that, okay, I can't take a life in this world, so I'm taking a life. Like, if they knew it was killing someone, then maybe it'd be different. But a lot of them say, like, oh, it's just a clump of cells, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if it's like a fully grown human, they're like, oh, dude, it's just a clump of cells. Like, even though, like, it's a fully formed baby, they're like, it's just a clump of cells, dude. Like, I just suck it out and, you know, chop it up apart.
It's just
and,
a what?
Sell it to.
It's just a what?
They call it a clump of cells, like a group of cells put together.
Huh? I'm confused.
That's how in America. That's a lot of the terminology that you'll hear. Like, they'll say that it's just, you know, like you know, your cells, like your body, your cells that are within your body, like we study in science.
Oh, okay. Well, it is a human, but like, that's exactly why you need to consider all those situations, man. That's why, it's because it's a human.
But these people, the people that are arguing this in America, they actually don't believe that it is a person.
Oh.
They believe, like, this isn't a person. I'm not killing a human. Like if they understood that and they considered that, that's weird.
Right. I see what you're saying.
They're
now.
just like they're like kill it because it's not human. Like, they literally don't believe it's human.
Okay.
That's how weird it is.
Well, people like that are people who don't have an issue killing a kitten or anything like that, just because they don't want a kitten or another cat growing in their house or something like that. I think those are the exact same fucking people. You know, I don't say I'm pro-abortion because I want kids to die. I know I say a lot of times, like, the world is overpopulated and stuff, but I don't want to, you know, like, I think the best way to do things is, if you want to bring a kid to the world, make sure you have the best conditions so that the kid can grow in the world with a decent life and, you know, not incredibly miserable. You know what I mean? Because that's just the stupidest thing to do to someone, is put them through torment, and it's not even their fault. It's one thing when we grow up and we do something stupid and whatever. That is one thing. And it's completely our consequences that we have to basically go within our consequences, and you have to deal with that problem yourself, and et cetera, et cetera. When you're just born into shit, it's none of your business. Well, it's none of your doing, and you're just being punished for something you had nothing to do with. It's like when people call you a bigot or whatever, just because of you're part of a certain group, like you're Caucasian, so automatically you're a racist because of that. You know, it's like, what, bro? What's your problem? You know, I don't know. It's a difficult topic, to be honest, because you know, there's like you said, there's going to be different perceptions and whatnot. But I am pro euthanasia and I'm pro abortion. But I still think those are two things that they need to go, or they need to undergo a lot of serious consideration before pulling the plug or before doing whatever it is that they do for abortions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like the reason that we're having such a difference is because a lot of the people are going to the complete, like we used to in America we used to say safe, legal, and rare. Basically, the idea was that it would only be used for like the exceptions, kind of like you're saying, like if a kid was going to be born from like a like a someone who was raped or something like that,
Mm.
that would be a really bad situation. They could do it. But now, basically, there's a lot of people who believe that it should be free range. Like, just
Oh, okay.
there was even discussion. Even been discussion of bills passing where you could do it even 7 days after a child was born. Like a child is actually born 7 days after uh, ending it.
Okay. Yeah, see,
So
that's not, yeah,
it's really weird.
that's
It's
definitely not
not the
my
same in
stance on it.
America.
That
Yeah,
is,
it's weird how they are in America about it because they really take the hard extreme of like, oh well, if I can't take care of it, I'm just gonna, even if like if I can't take care of this kid and I just popped it out, just go ahead and ixnay, just kill it. Like it's weird, dude. Very strange.
mm. Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, that's why I'm a pro about it. Like, if like you said, the child of being a product of rape or something like that, or being going to be born and going to be undesired, basically, it might as well just, again, it's a fucked up thing. It's a fucked up thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't like kids. I'm not gonna have kids, unless it happens. But I don't think it's gonna happen. So that's just my stance on it.
Yeah. So
It's not to
speaking of
say
that
that because
topic,
I don't like kids, I want them to die. I'm just saying, um, obviously my opinion is going to be different than yours as a parent. But again, like I said, I think they deserve a good life. That's all it's my opinion. Kids deserve a good life if they're going to be shoved into the world, which is a shit place anyways. At least let them have a good life. That's just where I stand.
yeah. So the I bring that topic up to bring up this topic actually. So I don't know if you saw there's a lot of companies that are talking about it in America now.
Hmm.
And one company that actually I was surprised, PlayStation has decided that they're going to kind of be neutral on it, and they said like they basically said, hey, we know there's a lot of people with different opinions, just no, we're not going to take a stance, basically. And people are like a lot of them, the gaming journos, like they're trying to say like he wouldn't say he supported like he supported just all these abortion stuff like the and it's come up because essentially they could change how it's handled to where it would be each individual state in America, kind of like each country in the EU would be able to decide what their abortion laws are, but they're trying to say like it would be a ban, like the media is trying to say it would be a ban, and essentially they're trying to tell PlayStation that they need to make a statement on it. And he just said, "Hey, we know there's a lot of people who have different opinions. We'll let them have that, and you know, then we're not going to take a stance." And they're mad at him for it.
I mean, people will be mad at everything, dude. Fucking hell, people will be mad at everything.
Especially on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fucking cesspool of shit. But that's just ridiculous, man. If people don't want to be part of this, just let them not be part of it. Like, what, you're gonna drag
Yeah.
someone into shit because you just like believe a certain thing? That's just because you have certain beliefs and shit. Like, that's just like the same shit religious motherfuckers have been doing for centuries, man. Oh, you don't believe the shit we believe in? Oh, I'm gonna fucking burn you, bitch. You're a fucking witch now. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Let people live, man. Um. So it's like certain communities want everyone to be pro LGBT, but while I'm not against LGBT. I'm not like wanting to shut it down or I have it, completely restricted for certain things. We have to acknowledge that there's malefactors who take advantage of this and take advantage of the fact that now people are afraid of being called bigots, and they will be taking advantage of that shit to do bad practices, which is what we've been seeing with like fucking transgender dudes playing the role of, I'm transgender, so I literally had a thing open here of a dude who like a fucking old ass motherfucker identifying as a 5-year-old. You know what I mean? And we went to court dressed as an elf. It's
That's
like,
crazy.
It's like, what are we living in, dude? What the fuck are we living in? You just
It's clown
so
world.
what?
It's all clown world.
You identify as a 5-year-old, and then what? What's gonna happen? Like, what the fuck is the situation gonna be here? So you should be treated as a 5-year-old just because you identify as one? What are your intentions when you identify as a 5-year-old? It's just weird, man. I've been saying and solemnly believe we should not have ended lobotomies. We should not have ended shock therapy. We should have still have that shit. Furries definitely need either lobotomy or shock therapy. They would completely be way better people. Pedophiles should definitely get lobotomies or shock therapy. Creeps also could definitely take a little bit of a shot of shock therapy and or lobotomies. And lobotomies were invented by a Portuguese doctor. So it's my compatriot. And I support it.
I think a lot of people already are basically lobotomized anyway, though, with how little brain space that they use.
I mean, yeah, it's the results of the internet having so much freedom.
So, talking about like a lot of these, like the media and these corporations doing these things, Activision Blizzard, the favorite company, the company that makes your favorite game, has decided to release a tool, an awesome tool. Apparently, it rates the characters based on the diversity metrics.
I have no idea what that means, dude.
So it's saying like, look at it. Hold on, let me get the article actually. So here's the article. It says, so when they go to make a new character, they want to change change character. They want to see like how it boils down to like diversity, and they want to have like a number that they can put on like how diverse is this, and they'll give it a score, like a diversity score for everything.
So they're basically just trying to be just trying to sugarcoat all the shit they've been doing and say, hey guys, we're so diverse, we're going to try to make our characters super diverse now, and it's all about inclusivity, and it's all about, buy our video games because we support literally everything in the fucking world. And they should make a pedophile next. They should make a fucking pedophile character. They could have the pedophiles play the game and be like super satisfied about it. It's all about representation, isn't it? I mean, that's just pathetic. Like when I literally like weeks ago, I had we had this conversation, and I said like, I'm all for representation, but like, let's not fucking overdo it, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's fine to have like a black woman being represented in the video game, but like now they're just making everything about it representation. This is pathetic. Like, so while they're making these fucking tools, they're probably not working on something else that they could work on. You know what I mean? It's like ridiculous, dude. Like what happened to video games? Video games used to be about living in a fucking fantasy world and experience these massively strong warriors and going against creatures and all crazy shit. And nowadays it's just it's fucking like what's the what's the fucking word? This snowflakey world we're living in. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's the we're living in like woke world, like woke world, essentially.
They should just make
Anything-
robots only. You know, just like make Overwatch just turn them all into fucking cyborgs. And then like what are people gonna say? Well, the robot the people probably would be like, oh, that robot should be a male. That robot should be a female.
Well, that's true. But I think I can tell you exactly what it would be. Next it would be, well, who's their voice actor? Are they voiced by a diverse cast? Or do they? Because there was literally this happened. I forget what show it was. Oh, I mean,
Family
like,
Guy.
You can even there was Apu from Simpsons, you know, something like that. Like he wasn't voiced by an Indian guy, so they had to swap him out and stuff like that.
Same thing happened with Family Guy.
Would go to.
The voice actor for Cleveland was not a black person, and they had to stop. Or I don't remember what happened, but yeah, like I think the guy stepped down from voice acting Cleveland. It's so fucking stupid. But dude, these people that do this kind of shit, the people that literally go these lengths to make these changes are people with literally no life whatsoever. They have nothing going on in their lives. You know what I mean? It's just like a motherfucker who's incredibly toxic because they lost a game in Dead by Daylight. It's like you need to either grab a hobby besides video games. You need a hobby that really allows you to be creative and shit. This is the biggest fucking difference from the days today and like 20 years ago. 20 years ago when we were frustrated, we went and grabbed our guitars, our drum kits, our pencils and our paper or whatever it was, or people made games and they created these creatures and they made these creatures from their negative thoughts and shit like that, and they were creative. The people were creating things. Nowadays, they just go on Twitter and complain about literally everything and just try to change the world in stupid ways. That's the biggest difference. People need hobbies, and people just need to like realize that the things you want are not what the world needs to be like. You know what I mean? It's so pathetic.
Yeah, I think it boils down to like kind of like what you were saying. There's a lot of people who use social media as their sort of creative outlet, and it's not really creative.
It's
more
not at
destructive.
all.
Like they go from wanting to like create something, like, you know, like you said, like someone who would take a bad situation and create something out of it.
Yeah.
To someone who would just then destroy everything that they see because they can't create anything.
Like Silent Hill, like for example, right? A lot of the creatures are essentially manifestations of negative thoughts like guilt and shame and et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's a really cool concept. And I think that's a lot of motherfuckers need to do that shit. You know? So yeah. If people don't have a creative outlet, they're just going to be fucking stuck in complaining about shit over and over and over again. And it's not healthy for anybody, you know? And we see the results of that today. So
Yeah, and I think that things are starting to turn around a little bit though, and that can kind of bring up sort of the next thing that I had here is that Netflix actually, for once, they, instead of being so like super woke and everything, apparently they told their workers that they can quit if they get offended about like the Dave Chappelle special. They basically told them if they don't like what they're making, they could just quit. Like you can quit working at Netflix because of it.
If you don't like Dave Chappelle, then you can fuck off because
yeah,
he's a good creator. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's cool. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. That's a nice way to go about it, you know? He's a good comedian, man. Like,
they said, yeah, I mean he's great at it. Well, especially considering, you know, like now technically comedy could be dead if it wasn't for someone like him, because you can't make any joke nowadays, because if you make that joke, and then everybody's gonna be offended because
They're gonna go on Twitter.
let me go on Twitter and talk about how racist,
You're
sexist,
canceled in the Twitter posts.
yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah, well,
But yeah, like this is what I'm saying. Like the culture maybe like kind of starting to shift. Like everything maybe shifting away from like this whole crazy madness. I think people just want to kind of be left alone finally. Like they're like, I'm done everything preaching to me. Like going everywhere and being preached to. It's gonna go away eventually. I hope sooner rather than later, but this is a good sign. I think like this is a good sign of hopefully more companies doing the same thing. Because then if they tell their employees like, hey, if you wanna be a pain and you wanna go whine and complain and picket outside of our company, you can go pound sand. Like, because if you're gonna sit here and say that, oh, you can't make let Dave Chappelle talk and talk about trans people or whatever. Like, let him. We're gonna make money, and we don't care what you're thinking, because you're just trying to cause a stir. You're just trying to be a pain in our side.
yeah. Yeah, I'm totally down for that shit, man. We need more of that stuff. More people like that, more companies doing that kind of shit. More motherfuckers going like, hey, are you unhappy with our video game? Well, go play another video game. Are you unhappy with the way we work here and unhappy with our comedy? Then fucking go consume Amy Schumer or some shit, like, and then they'll fucking realize, well,
Amy
man,
Schumer's not funny.
we really shot ourselves in the fucking foot there. So give us Dave Chappelle back and everyone else. Yeah, that's just how it goes, man. It's just how it goes. Part of this is like because of the problem is the Zoomers were essentially raised in this insanely accepting and insanely progressivist society, and that's all they want nowadays. It's you can't say anything. You need to like everything. You need to accept everything. You need to accept everyone, and it's like, you need to accept people that are good people, and you need to criticize people that are bad people. Doesn't matter what the fuck they believe in. Doesn't matter what the fuck their race is, their whatever it is. If they're cool people, accept them. If they're not cool people, tell them to fucking, go bash their heads against, I don't know, but just like change or something,
Like pound sand, yeah. Like just tell them to pound sand. Like go, screw off. Like I'm doing what I'm doing, and you can't stop me. Like that's what a lot of people need to embrace as far as that goes. But this is the first time that really any company has kind of done that in a long time. Like to just tell people like, hey, if you don't like it, like, see, it's so funny because there were like, for the kind of like woke BS, like the Battlefield 5, whatever, they would say, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Oh, you don't like it, don't watch
yeah.
it. With a lot of these shows, which I'm okay with that, but they lost a lot of money, and then now they really want your money, and they want to do these, like all these kind of things. And try to,
okay. Oh, so you're saying like people started criticizing it, and then others said like, if you don't like it, don't buy it. Okay, so I want to say, if something is legitimately bad, if something has legitimately nothing good about it, and it's a clear sign, and it's not just an opinion by some random dude who doesn't like that shit. Like, for example, like Cannibal Corpse is generally good for people who like that genre of music. But if you don't like that genre of music, you're gonna say it's just noise and it sucks and it's fucking dog shit. And it's like, you can argue that, but that's one of the situations where I say, like, if you don't like it, don't listen to it. Period. You don't have to be any part of it. Just move the fuck on. It is in general a good band because it has this, and this. It has musicality, it has technicality, it has nice rhythms, etc., etc. The vocals are good, blah 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 blah. So if like, if a game is inherently bad, then you should criticize it and not just move away from it. If a game is good but someone doesn't like it, then just move the fuck away, just get the fuck out and go do something else. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the criticisms of the Battlefield 5 thing when that went down, a lot of people had really valid criticisms. I mean, there was the stuff of like, hey, this isn't historically accurate. You have literally prosthetics on a female soldier, which really, there were very few female soldiers, if any, and even if you're gonna put them in the game just for like a cosmetic, like they don't have to have prosthetic limbs or whatever. Like they don't need to be running around in a peg leg to try to fight a war. It just doesn't make sense. Or like have the amputated arm or whatever. Like that's just not happening. Wouldn't have happened.
Right.
They would have been if they had it's just unrealistic stuff. And then they made these valid claims, and then EA just says oh, don't like it, don't buy it. My daughter, like the CEO, is like, my daughter said that she wanted to see a girl in a game, and so I had to put girls in a game and show her that you could put girls in a game. And like he acted so pretentious about it in like the way that he presented it, where he didn't hear any of the criticism.
Who was Lara Croft? Was that a man?
No, Lara Croft is a woman. It was a female character.
Oh,
that's Tomb Raider.
Oh shit, man! Wow, it's almost like women have been in video games for decades. Crazy thought. Who would have thunk it, man?
Yeah, I mean,
wow.
yeah. Like it's not, but like the guy was trying to, like the CEO was trying to say like, oh, she needs to see the representation because there's not been enough, and if I'm making a game, then I need to put.
That's exactly where I would say get a fucking hobby. If you need to be represented in a video game, and there's something wrong with you, it's not with a video game. If a video game is specifically trying to be like in Overwatch is a different universe, right? It's a universe that is a futuristic universe. And it's a universe who's already been through a societal civilization, if you will, and it's now sort of changing and getting molded as time progresses and whatnot. I accept like prosthetics and shit like that. Like Sojourn is basically like all our limbs are prosthetics. It's accepted because it's a futuristic environment and universe where that kind of shit is possible. If you're making a goddamn video game that is supposed to be war representative, and you're going for that kind of stupid shit, that's dumb. That's just dumb. And if it's like the people who like the realistic representation of the war in those times in a video game like that, like Battlefield, which is until like 5, I guess, or the last one it's been a pretty cool game. But the people that actually like to see those things represented in those games will stop playing those games because they're no longer representing the actual war and the actual events that existed during those times. One of the things I love about Battlefield 1 is how good it feels. I haven't played in months, by the way, but I love the game nonetheless because it feels like I'm in a fucking war, man. Like I'm in those days, and the machinery and the guns and things like that I think are accurate to play with and do things with. So it's just ridiculous, man. Like, why don't they fucking why doesn't the fucking CEO or whatever make a video game that's basically like a shooter like Battlefield? You know what I mean? It is just make it like a different universe, and it's just a bunch of girls running around shooting each other. Boom, fixed. You've got representation for everybody.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with the way that they knew they wanted to make a World War II shooter, but he still wanted to somehow shoehorn women in there because he thought that it was going to be like a diversity points or whatever, good boy points. And he when he got the backlash of like, hey, this makes no sense, like because the people were even criticizing the whole female soldier because it wasn't even like it would have been like a Russian female soldier. That's the most prevalent like unit, right? Like there were a few Russian female soldiers, that's the only thing that you could draw from, really. But he was using like a random British female soldier who was she was on the battlefield and she was fought in the war. You're like, no, that wasn't happening. That literally didn't happen at all for
They
like
were
Britain or America.
they were
It
nurses.
wouldn't have made any sense. Yeah, they were all nurses. Um, but it's just this contrived scenario he made, and then he tried to justify it. But so essentially, what I think it is if you wanna make these stories, like you said, make something that's your own, that a unique world, or even if you want to do something like that, what you have to realize is that you're going to get valid, like you have to understand what is valid and what isn't valid criticism. So you're gonna get like people making games are gonna get any kind of criticism, right?
Yep.
But they need to take in the good criticism and consider it. They don't have to do it. They need to at least consider it, though. Like if I tell you I love your game, but I hate these 5 things about your game, and I would play it a lot more if you fix those things, then they should really consider those. It doesn't mean that I'm gonna change the game, but they should definitely like look at it and be like, hey, is this a problem? And if they say, no, that gun isn't overpowered. This isn't too annoying. Like you're saying it is. It's only because of the way you play or something like that. Then they can make those decisions. I mean, but they do need to take it into consideration and understand whether is this valid feedback or is it just trolling. Like, are they trolling me? Like, are they just mad because they're bad? Or is this something to actually look at, or is this something to actually be concerned about? And then they can make that decision there. And if the person gets mad, then like, okay, this game may not be for you. But that's
Why they
that's
don't do
when
that?
the
I know why they don't do that, because
yeah.
then no one would buy it. Because if they made a game that's just like women running around shooting each other, if they're not like sex, if they're like fucking fully clothed in like 19 freaking 40s clothes and shit like that, then no one would play it, no one would buy it, except the people that want to be represented or whatever the fuck. And that's why they don't do this. But people need to realize that you either accept things the way they are, or if you want the things the way you are, you're gonna fucking ruin them for everybody. And that's just the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was weird too, because like Call of Duty put female soldiers in the multiplayer too, but they didn't make it a big deal. It was just like, okay, you can be a female soldier in multiplayer,
But was
but
it a
they didn't say like,
futuristic game or what?
no, they just made it was honestly just like a palette swap to be able to like like a character customization thing. But like
Oh,
in the story, in the actual campaign, it was all guys, like the kind of like the war was mostly fought. Like they had a whole battalion of guys that were,
like
and they
I
basically told that
have
story.
I have nothing
There's
against women in war or whatever the fuck. Cause like there's a lot of
mhm,
female soldiers from like what the past like 10-15 years or something. But the thing is,
yeah.
the problem is if you're gonna be representative of a certain time, like World War II or whatever, you at least need to be fucking loyal to that shit. If you want to make a war game that is like your whole universe, you completely generate something from your mind that is not attached to history, fucking go ahead, bro. Put women, robots, freaking like transgender
Yeah.
people, whatever you want to put in there, man. I don't care about that. And maybe it's fun. If it's fun, I'll play it. Who cares? You know? But if you're going to make something representative of history, you better fucking do it right.
Yeah, but that's why like I think that a lot of people didn't get so outraged, is because basically they didn't push it like, oh, so in your face as part of the multiplayer. It's just like, hey, if you want to change the gender of your character to like from male to female, whatever, like if you can either have a male character or a female character, you get to pick.
Hmm.
And that was just a choice. And it didn't. I didn't really care. I thought it was weird. It's jarring in the World War II game, kind of like you say, but I didn't really care as much in that as much as it was like the way that Battlefield 5, the way that they tried to like act like they were gonna shove it down your throat and you were gonna like it if you wanted to play that game. That's why I didn't buy it. I liked Battlefield 1, but I was not gonna buy Battlefield 5 when they were acting like that. And then especially it was especially bad once the game came out and it was broken at launch. So
Take
like
that.
every game is nowadays.
Yeah, that's another thing I don't understand. Like, well, I understand it's just because people don't, they just accept too much shit, and they're not like, oh, if I'm not satisfied with this game because it's full of bugs or whatever, I'm not gonna play it. I want a refund, etc., etc. Work on your shit, make it work, and then I'll fucking pay for it. You're not gonna sit on a chair, or you're not gonna buy a chair that's brand new and is missing like 50% of it, you know, or 20, 30% of it, you know, like the chair is too low or the back is broken or whatever the fuck, you know, either return that chair, you know what I mean, to try to get a good chair. But with video games, people accept just too much shit. Video games, movies, music nowadays as well, people accept too much shit without criticizing it properly, without going, hey man, you fucked up with this shit. This is garbage. So here, have it back. I don't want it anymore. You know, I want to play something else or do something else. You know, it's like if you fuck up, if you make a bad product outside of the digital world, you fucking return it because it's broken. You know, so that's what warranties are for.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the video games, people just accept shit too much. That's exactly what happened with New World. You know, it was completely like full of bugs, broken, full of exploits that people figured out and shit. And people still, I mean, it lost a lot of players, to be honest, but it still had enough to make it relevant. So, you know, people just need to be more confrontational when it comes to that sort of shit. If you make something bad, you make something bad, and you need to fix it. You either fix it or you go next. It's like something that was very common like a few years. I don't know. It still happens, but something that's very common in the metal world was these bands that were super bad and they just had no synergy or anything. But people still listen and still accepted it without criticizing the issues with the bands. And a band, if you don't have synergy, if the whole band doesn't work together, the best thing to do is end the band and try to make something else with other people that will be better at synergy with each other. If the band just sounds like shit, but people still accept it, that's fucking wrong. You know, because you're basically enabling something that's bad. You have to say, hey man, good effort, but you should probably try to do something else. Or try to get more other people in the band or whatever. Instead of just being like, oh, wow, man, your shitty band is fucking amazing. I love it. It's so cool. I also hate when people do that shit too. When people don't criticize my shit properly. If I do something bad and you know it's bad, tell me that it's bad. Don't tell me it's fucking good. Because you're lying to my face and you're enabling me to be worse or to be bad. You know? If we make mistakes, it's good to criticize those mistakes. It's good to say, you made a mistake or you should do it this way and that way. Even though it's going to hurt our egos, it's going to hurt our work and shit like that, it's still the best way to do it. Long term, it's the best fucking way to do it. You know? Instead of just accepting everything and going like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I like your videos or whatever. Your videos shit, but I like your videos or whatever. Like if my videos have things that need to be improved and you know about it, tell me about it and tell me like your video needs this, this, and this, you know, so that I can work on it, improve it, and then come back with something better.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge problem that a lot of people have with having, like you said, being confrontational, actually criticizing something, but it definitely needs to be valid criticism.
Oh yeah,
I
sure.
think a lot of people don't know how to critique it properly. Like they don't know how to break down like should I say something? Because there are sometimes like you should probably just shut up because there's what you're about to say is worthless. Kind of like what we were talking about before. Like if you criticize a game, and it might just not be for you. You know what I mean? Like some
Yeah.
games aren't for me. Like if I were to play like some kind of strategy game or something like that, probably not for me. I can't really do a lot of the like high level strategy games or stuff like that. But if it's something that I play, like shooter games, stuff like this, I feel like I can critique those games in that way and be able to tell, like, hey, this is a good shooter game, this is a bad shooter game, and I like these features, I don't like these features. And that's just me understanding, like, I know enough about that, and I'm gonna complain about it if I want to, and give those valid criticisms. But obviously, if I was like, oh, just take this gun out of the game, it's broken, then yeah, that would be kind of stupid. But you have to know how to do it properly. Like if you can criticize something properly, it goes a long way, and it helps them, and it helps you too, because you're help trying to better something that you enjoy. Kind of like if you were to give criticisms like of Dead by Daylight, like if you played some of that game, maybe you don't have the most hours in it like somebody else, but if you enjoy playing it and you want to critique it, then as long as you bring valid criticisms, and there shouldn't be any problem with anyone to talk about it, at least. And you should bring those up because it's going to make that game better. It's going to make everybody around you better to critique things that they're doing.
Yeah, for real. Like Gabriel said, criticism is different to expressing how much you like it or don't like it. Yeah, exactly. It is how things improve. If you don't fucking say something is better, whatever the fuck, it's never gonna improve. It's always gonna. It's like I said, it's enabling shit, and like if I keep doing something, it's a Far Cry 3 definition of insanity. Vaz, do you know the definition of insanity? But
I love that quote.
Yeah.
I love that quote. I haven't played that game, but I love that quote.
Oh shit. You have drinks? I don't have drinks, man.
I don't either.
There goes some water.
It's gonna be a drinkless.
Some fucking water. But yeah, it's the definition of insanity is repeating the same shit, hoping to get different results, and this just doesn't happen. And that's what a lot of people do. Like if you keep doing, let's say you want to make a YouTube channel, you keep doing videos, and it's never gonna kick off. Like there's something wrong. It's not. It doesn't kick off even if you promote that shit. If you're like sitting there and like promoting it and going extra links to get people to watch it and stuff, but it never kicks off. Like if you make videos but you don't do anything about promotion and you just sit there, which is typically what I do for the most part. But if you just sit there and you expect it to like blow up or some shit, but it never does, well, that's because no one's gonna look at your shit if you don't promote it, But if you promote things and it never goes anywhere, despite the quality of it, if you keep doing things and it never kicks off, despite you promoting it, then you gotta sort of internalize and realize, wait, maybe I have to change something here. Maybe there's a formula here that I need to fucking work on, instead of just continue to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. I got a like on Twitter on my previous stream post, and I went to look at the Twitter. There's this dude who does scary videos on YouTube, like scary stories, and he has a good thing going on with like the voice and stuff. Kind of pisses me off when they're always talking like this to try and be scary. It just kind of pisses me off a little bit. I don't know why. But I guess I don't like whispers that much. But it's like the dude has fucking Fortnite gameplay on the background when he's trying to make scary stories. I know why. He's trying to basically get that shit to be fucking blowing up just because it has Fortnite gameplay. But it's like, dude, you're making scary story videos and with Fortnite gameplay on the background. What?
Yeah.
Like, can't you grab fucking scary images or scary videos? There's a ton of fucking free footage out there that you can literally grab and use on your videos to like literally reinforce the scary part of it. And you're just telling stories. Like, just make a fucking podcast in that case. You don't have to make the videos. You just make the podcast, record the fucking audio, put it as a podcast, and you hope to kick off. Because he's got, in terms of audio, he's got a good thing going. I don't like the whisper bullshit thing. But yeah, man, like, just make podcasts instead of a Fortnite gameplay in the background. I don't know. Weird. Fucking weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay. I looked at it and I was like, all right, cool, I guess. Dude's telling scary stories with fucking Fortnite gameplay. So, oh, here it is. I found the fucking thing. There it is. So yeah. Transgender father of two, 47, awaiting gender reassignment surgery, is sent to male prison after being exposed as predatory pedophile who targeted girls as young as 6 and took upskirt photo of 7-year-old. Wait, that's fucking 1st of April. Still, I don't know. I just realized that I didn't even look at that like before, but the 1st of April definitely makes me question the post. But I still don't doubt it. I mean, we've seen like multitudes of things. Even before I fucking found this, we've seen multitude of things kind of related to this. So I believe it for sure. I definitely believe it.
Yeah, this is it doesn't the world we live in like I can never tell the parody from the reality at this point. Like it all seems real. I got trolled by a couple of parody accounts at one point because this was like, whoa, no way this would happen. And then all of a sudden I checked like the account and I was like, oh, this is an actual fake account. They're just trolling.
Oh,
But it seems so real. Like it was there's like a breaking 911 and then someone will make like a fake account that looks like the same account, but it just has a little bit different spelling, and they'll troll people with that, and so um, I saw some post. It was talking about something like that, like some crazy thing, like, oh yeah, like they just want to someone actually said that something like pedo needs to be a gender or something like that, and then I checked the account and I'm like, oh, this is a parody account. Okay, well, it sounds so real though. This sounds so real, like it would happen. Someone be like, oh yeah, that's actually another gender now.
yeah. It's really increasingly more difficult nowadays to tell like what is being sarcasm or what is sarcasm and what is not. A lot of times in text messages and stuff, many times, like even streaming and stuff, like people might be sarcastic in chat, but I can't tell they're being sarcastic. I'm just reading fucking text. And if I don't know how the person is, I'll assume they're being real. They're not being sarcastic. You know what I mean? And it's just like, but when you're gonna type something in chat and people don't know you, you have to understand if you're being sarcastic, but you don't really point out your sarcasm, or if your sarcasm is not really clear, it's going to be really difficult to identify your sarcasm. It's just how it is. You know?
Yeah, I've noticed that there's there's a hard way to it's a hard thing to be able to express yourself like in characters, just text based, like kind of like on Twitter. I might say something that would be very like if I was like trolling on Twitter, some people would take me seriously, and then that would be weird because I just don't know how that would be, but you know, it is what it is. You have to deal with that. The reality nowadays of how it is just trying to navigate it. But it is hard to figure out a lot of times. Like, are they kidding or are they not? Uh, you know, even something like communicating between my wife and I. If I'm just saying like, hey, that was really good, whatever. Like, if I was just trying to be like sarcastic, then it would be, I could either come off as like being a real, like d bag, or I would, or it would be funny, and it's hard to tell which a lot of times.
Yeah. Well, it's just I guess it's the nature we live in. But you know, what are we gonna do? I think it's like people need to realize, just understand that if you don't want to, the problem I have with it for the most part is if people are sarcastic and then someone misreads it or misinterprets their sarcasm and gets offended or something, or and then they get offended that they offended the person because they couldn't read their fucking sarcasm. It's like, what? You're texting, you're sending a fucking text message. Like, I can't read your expression. I can't, like, I don't know what you fucking look like when you're writing the message. I don't know if you're laughing or smiling or grinning or whatever the fuck, man. I don't know. Which is partly the reason why emojis became a thing, to sort of like try to express that sort of stuff in text messages, so like if you're being sarcastic about something, you could put a little bit of a smirk or something like that, but it's a little bit easier to identify. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of started doing that a little bit with like the, like the XD, which I mean,
I
a lot of
fucking
people
hated
don't like
XD.
those.
I
Yeah,
literally,
like
when I was like back in 2010, I think, I literally created a group on Facebook against the XD shit. No one joined because everyone was using that shit. I was just the only one who hated the XD thing. But yeah, everyone was using the XD. It's like, fuck me, man. I hate everybody. I mean, it's not like it's gonna ruin my day if people put XD in the chat, because I'm pretty sure Ron hearing this shit out is gonna put like a bunch of XDs or something like that, because this is how he is. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't like the XD. I don't know why. It's like, it's weird. But yeah, like the fuck, the other emotes, it's okay, and it keeps getting crazier with the emote stuff. When with Discord and Twitch and YouTube and stuff, when people can make their own custom emotes, some of them are pretty funny though. Some of them are pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah, so some of them are interesting, like people doing themselves, like in a special,
I love the
like
Smudge. I fucking love the Smudge. This
which
one.
one?
It's so
Oh
good.
yeah. The Pepe emotes are great. Like,
So it's
they're
it's a
awesome.
Sag and a Madge together. It's fucking hilarious. I might make that my fucking. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make that shit my profile fucking picture thing. Because it's just too funny. Oh, I'm on streamer mode. Fuck. Whatever. I'll do it after this podcast. But yeah, man. Holy shit, my fucking PC is losing its shit, dude. It doesn't know what to fucking. Like, what is this? What is going on here?
Don't kill your PC.
This is so weird because, like, it's fucking 1:40 in the morning and it says 60 AA Fahrenheit partly sunny. So it's partly sunny at 1:40 in the morning. Right on. Right on.
You sure you didn't forget to and leave your VPN on?
No, I haven't had a VPN on for a while since I started getting issues with the. So I went looking at that and I did a speed test because I was like, why am I being disconnected when I'm in the middle of a game? This doesn't make any fucking sense. And then I went to check, and my speeds were like, it went from like 500 down to like 30, 40, 50. Like, that's weird. So apparently, like Torguard just installed a bunch of adapters for the fucking the tunnels and things like that to connect to the VPN protocols. And
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the reason or not, but I just disabled and uninstalled like a bunch of the adapters, and it appears to have fixed the problem. Then I started looking at Proton, and apparently Proton claims that they have like up to 400% speeds, and it actually went from like 500 to 400 or 380, 400, which is not bad at all. And with the free service too. Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's definitely better than what I would expect for something that would be completely free.
Yeah.
I mean, even some of the paid services are, you pay $99 a year and you don't get that kind of service.
That's what I was using was Torguard. I was paying for Torguard because when I looked it up, it was apparently what people said that was like the best one in terms of protection as well as speeds and stuff. And I went with Torguard. I don't know if it was like an issue of like some sort of weird thing going on or some conflict between the things I was using or whatever, because technology is fucking weird as shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Unexpected things happen. But yeah, I haven't used the VPN since, because I don't want my speeds to be that low. I'm going to play a video game and I don't have fucking packets to stand like, bro.
You don't want like frames to drop because you're like
No,
because
the frames don't
data
drop.
isn't being sent.
The frames don't
Like
really
your
drop
upload-
because of that, but it's just
Like your upload speed gets killed, and all of a sudden you can't upload your character can't upload its location or whatever. So all of a sudden the connection breaks and you're skipping across the map.
yeah, that's
Like your frame skipping across the map. It looks like to someone else watching you, like it looks like you're just like glitching everywhere.
No, that's the thing. I never glitched. I never lagged. I had like significantly low ping, especially in DBD when I disconnected like 2 times. It was like 50, 60 ms, which is normal for EU in that game. So it's just weird that it just disconnected me twice from the game. Like you're not lagging, but you're still getting disconnected from the game. It's weird. It's weird. I also don't know if like the speeds had anything to do with it or whatever the fuck, but yeah. It's 60 as fuck. 60 as fuck. $82 Fahrenheit. Wow, dude. You gotta understand, it's 1:40 in the morning. I need my fan to blow me already. At 1:40 in the morning, I need my fan blowing me. That's fucking insane. It's currently in Fahrenheit. Wait, how do I change this shit? Hold on. Should be able to do it on the platform. Come on, dumb fuck. God damn, stop opening the website, dude. Stupid dipshit. Oh yeah, I have to change the unit. 66. It's 66 degrees at 2 a.m. practically. Like,
Wow.
bro. Yeah. Yeah. And during the afternoon, it's already hitting like, I guess, what would that be? Like fucking 80? Yeah, like 80 Fahrenheit, 90 Fahrenheit. No, actually 90 Fahrenheit. What's 90 Fahrenheit? I think 90, yeah. 90 Fahrenheit is like, I think it's like 30 degrees.
Oh, jeez.
I think. 30 Celsius to Fahrenheit. Oh yeah, it's 86. It's fucking 86. So that's been my afternoons like for the past 2 days, 3 days. Pretty fucking crazy shit, man.
Yeah,
And
it's like it's been like 85, 84, 85 here.
yeah, and this is mid-May. I can only fucking imagine what it's gonna be like like beginnings of July, mid-July and August. It typically goes up to like 105, 110.
Yeah, that's it gets to like around 100 around here, but like it's even hotter than that based on like the heat index, the way that they look at it. It's crazy, dude. Like because there's so much humidity in the air, it makes it like 20 degrees hotter. So
Yep.
it technically it would be like 120 degrees because of
That's
all
where I
the,
live.
you know,
I live in this is
is it
basically
really
a fuck.
humid?
It's yeah, it's basically a hole. That's why it's so cold during winter and so hot during summer. So, um, it's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. Um, but it is what it is. There's a town not too far away from here that goes up to 50, 50 Celsius. So that's like, that's literally 120, 130 Fahrenheit. Um, yeah, yeah, yep. And that town is basically like a main. It's like a capital for solar panels, because you could probably imagine why. The fucking heat index is insane. But yeah, like this region is the hottest fucking region in the country. You gotta understand that. The Algarve is nice because they have the beaches, they have the fucking ocean and shit like that. So like there's a nice breeze coming in there and stuff. This is just fucking vegetation, woods, and warmth and heat all over the goddamn place. It's fucking crazy. It's also crazy that like Aussies are getting winter now while we're getting fucking summer. Like when
Yeah, it
Gabriel's
confuses me.
fucking sitting in front of his PC, like on his undies, and I'm fucking wearing blankets and wearing like 300 fucking layers of clothing and still like grinding my teeth because it's so cold. And he's fucking sitting on his undies in front of his PC. And now I'm sitting here like on the, well, I got a t-shirt and shorts on, and he's saying like it's 10 degrees or under 10 degrees Celsius there. It's funny, man. I mean, it's not funny. Well, it's funny, but you know, it's logical, but still, it's
Yeah,
interesting.
it's just it's weird because it's just confusing. Like a cool place that my granddad went to was Alaska, and if you didn't know Alaska, uh, there are certain parts of the season where the days are so long that it's like daytime almost even through the night, and there are times where it's so dark where it's almost nighttime like the entire day. It's so weird to think about.
Yeah. I think it's Iceland that also has like really long fucking nights, or it's like no, Iceland has like a lot of darkness in there. Um, so yeah, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. But yeah, like if the weather goes like super hot this summer, that's crazy shit. Because I don't know, man. I think like May used like a few years ago, May used to be like a tame time for weather. Like it starts getting hotter, but it's still like somewhat cold a little bit. It's not like this ridiculous increase in temperature like it has been in the past week, you know? And now it's
Yeah,
just
like normally it takes until June to get this
Yeah.
warm,
Yeah.
but it has been like getting really warm fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like around, say, 10, 11, 12 June is typically when it goes like, you know, shorts and shirt weather. May typically is still like, you know, wear like a long sleeve or some shit like that. Now it's just like fucking mid-May, man. 14th of May. Or, well, it's 13th still for you guys, but it's 14th May, and it's been like this since the 10th. So crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. This is an electronics killer, by the way. Dust and heat, bro. That shit kills electronics. It's I don't know, like it's probably not worse than water, but it could also be worse than water. Because if you have an electronics device and you get it wet, if it's not working, you can basically get it dried, and it's still gonna work. What kills electronics in terms of water, it's because it's working, so the electricity or the electricity in it just basically makes things burn and shit, and overheat and overcharge or whatever. But dust, that's why you have to clean your shit. But like the combination of dust, the fucking, the building up of dust, making the moving parts work harder, and then with the heat and shit, fans and whatnot, dude, it gets crazy.
Yeah, that's why they tell you to like spray it out every now and then and clean it out. I need to clean mine and probably change like the thermal paste on it and stuff like that. They tell you should do that. Usually you're okay until basically you get your new PC. But
I'd say 6 months is like the time you have to. 6 months is the safest, I'd say. 3 to 6 months, like the period between you have to sort of like clean or dust your PC or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my thing has like 3 settings for fans. So I'm gonna, at some point later this week or whatever, I'm gonna put it to like the hardest setting so that it has more cooling and shit. Honestly, this PC is not even like, in terms of heating, it's been like a fucking dream, dude. It barely heats, which is crazy considering that. Well, maybe that's why, because it doesn't have a GPU, so it doesn't have that extra strength in terms of like things working in there, or because like if the GPU is producing a lot of heat, then it's gonna go over to the CPU and shit, and it's gonna remain inside the case. But yeah, this one like barely fucking heats up. Because I think like when I'm playing a video game that could be like heavy on performance, it goes to like 50 degrees Celsius. That's about it. 50, 60. Never went up to 70 or 80. Always remained within like 50, 60. It's really good.
Yeah, I was I ramped mine up to like the max, and then when I did that, I like started a game up, and then all of a sudden it was like 70, and I was like, oh man. And I think I need to fix my fan curves or something like that, like like they talk about. But I don't know. I need to fix whatever fan setting, kind of like you said, like make sure that they turn up whenever it starts running more. Like whenever it gets going, it needs to ramp up the fans. But I don't know. I need to figure out that setting.
Yeah, because that's important shit, man. It is important shit. Otherwise, you can make. I used to have an HP Pavilion. It was a fucking dog shit laptop. It was heavy as fuck, and you could literally fry an egg on that shit. You just put an egg. You fucking put the egg on the back of it, on the bottom part of it, where it's the fan expels the air. You put an egg on that shit. It's gonna fucking fry that egg, no problem. That one would literally go up to like 80, 90 degrees Celsius. It's fucking crazy. That shit, like, during spring, I could not have it on without a cooler underneath it. Literally, that shit would fucking like overheat and shut down. Many times, So this was like 2012, 2013. I still played a reasonable amount of League of Legends back then with some friends, and I remember like getting into a game of League of Legends, and that shit would fucking overheat and kick me out of the game. Like within 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of a game. And as you know, League of Legends games can go for like a fucking hour, which is why I hate it. Can't withstand that shit.
Yeah, I can't, like, that's why, like, I haven't played that game in forever, because it just such a huge time sink to sit there and like commit to only one game for
Yeah.
45 minutes, especially when I was trying to do a little bit of ranked, like I wanted to play ranked mode. Dude, 45 minutes, and sometimes it would go like an hour or a little bit over, because
Yep.
you get them back and forth, and it takes so long.
Mhm.
I just can't do that. I can't.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky, and within 20 minutes, the fucking the enemy team might forfeit or something. Forfeit. So you might get lucky with that, but if the game keeps going, it's like 45, 50, 60 minutes, and it's just so long for a fucking game, dude. How long do Overwatch matches go for? Well, it depends. If you're playing quick play, usually it's like 10 to 15 minutes usually. If you play competitive, it's typically 10 to 15 minutes, or if both teams are really wanting to fucking win that shit, it could go for like 20 minutes to 30 minutes. But not more than that, I don't think. That's actually interesting. What is the longest match of Overwatch? What is the longest match of Overwatch? Before we end. Longest match. This is for the fucking Overwatch League, man. I don't give a shit about the Overwatch League. Oh yeah, you have overtime. So during overtime, if it keeps going, it keeps going. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I think I've. Okay, no idea how long it could do that for, but I'm pretty sure Blizzard would put some time limit on some matchmaking servers. Or if a game doesn't finish after 1 hour or whatever, it just shuts down. Yeah. Dude, I remember playing World of Warcraft, and I was doing an arena, and I was a Death Knight during Cataclysm. Death Knights during Cataclysm were fucking overpowered. They just didn't die. And I was against two guys. And I had I was in my course. This is one of the reasons why I bought a laptop, was because I wanted to play video games while I was in the course. And I asked the teacher to fucking give me a lift to the bus station. And I was doing the arena, man. I need to fucking finish the arena. And I was trying to win the fucking arena. It was a shaman who also didn't fucking die, and a warrior who also didn't die. I managed to kill the shaman, and the warrior left because they were just tired of that as much as I was. But my fucking ego kept me going for it. So that shit lasted 20 minutes, dude. 20 minutes of a fucking arena game. But yeah.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy shit. But yeah, almost done. So go ahead. If I can't save mine, I don't give a shit. But go ahead. Where can people find you, dude?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at Trey50Daniel.
All right, you can find me everywhere at EldritchsPIG, and that's about it. Thank you very much for listening to the Maze of Thoughts podcast this week. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a fantastic weekend, and don't get too drunk. Bye-bye.